Congressman Brian Mast of Florida. Right now, he's an Afghanistan war veteran. He's a member of the Foreign Affairs Committee. Congressman, thank you so much for joining us. Thanks for all your service to our country. We're grateful to you. And I know what happened in Afghanistan today is so personal for you. You served in Afghanistan. You lost both your legs in a blast from an improvised explosive device. What goes through your mind, Congressman, learning that 12 U.S. service members and maybe more were killed, 15 others seriously wounded in these attacks?
I've shed a good amount of tears over it already today. Sometimes you just can't help it. When you've seen a lot of folks buried, I've got a lot of rage going through me, and truly against this president.
Well, the president, he delivered his message in the last hour, and he had this warning to the terrorists responsible for this horrendous attack, saying, "We will hunt you down and make you pay." What does that look like with the U.S. Potentially in the next few days about to completely withdraw all of its troops from Afghanistan?
It's hollow. His words are as hollow as his heart and his head. That's the truth of it. All of this goes back to missteps from the very beginning. You look at everything that's gone on here. They've been messaging for the last week the exact opposite of what's going on in the world. He said today he wasn't going to be intimidated. This happened precisely because he was intimidated. Every step that he's taken has been because he has been intimidated along the way. He's been worried about optics along the way. He's been worried about not having this appear as a combat mission along the way. He's been worried about getting out by the 9/11 so we can have a celebration for that. He's been worried about getting out the people with the guns before getting out the people without the guns. He's been worried about giving up these strategic places in the middle of the night that gave no backup to the Afghans that we served alongside. I could break things over what I'm seeing on this, and I don't believe a single word that comes out of that man's mouth.
I know that you listened earlier in the day, as I did and so many others did, to the U.S. military's commander of the Central Command, General Kenneth McKenzie. He put it very bluntly. He said they expect these kinds of terror attacks to continue. So, Congressman, what options does the U.S. military have right now to thwart these attacks when so many people are still gathering outside the airport? As you know, there are thousands and thousands of Afghan friends of the United States who are so desperate to get out of the country.
It's a 180. Don't be intimidated. Don't let them set the deadline. Don't let them set the red line. He wants to say, send me, then do that. Send me. Go out there, land Air Force One in there, secure a bigger perimeter, take the high ground, determine that he's going to be the one that sets the rules with the terrorists and not the other way around. That's one of the quotes that he gave out there. Why don't you go out there, act like an American, set the rules, kill those that killed us, instead of backing away from your original statement was you're going to respond swiftly to those that interrupt our operations. I would say the whole pour down's been an operation by the Taliban. This was certainly a large interruption, well beyond that. Them taking our embassy, them taking the Bagram Air Base, those were certainly interruptions. You go out there and he wants to back off and say, well, we're going to meet them at a time and place of our choosing. That's backing up. Go out there and say, we're going to get back hold of the most advanced military weaponry that he said that they now have. Let's get a back hold of our equipment so that Americans, civilians, military, and the like aren't being killed for years to come with what was left of them, that their intelligence agencies predicted that this kind of fall would happen. We could talk about this forever.
Congressman Brian Mast, once again, thank you so much for your service. Thanks for joining us. We'll continue this conversation down the road. I want our viewers to take a look at the live pictures coming out of the White House right now where the American flag